Welcome along, everybody. What a day in store, a day to test the credentials of all the playoff hopefuls, their composure, their decision-making, their strategy, their nerve. I think if the semi-finals are the next stop, today's matches can be considered quarter-finals. These two, of course, intent on bonus point wins. Every chance it's high-scoring, and we'll just see if 5 points is enough for the winner. Now, Quins were without a handful of key men last week in Devon, the effects of a bruising weekend in Toulouse, the more likely factors in defeat, but there's no doubt these four will make a difference today. Danny Kerr restored at 9, refreshed and ready for this huge day for the club. Andre Esterhuizen, pivotal for them over the last few years. He's back to provide that midfield punch for the last time here at the Stoop. Same goes for the departing Lewis Liner. Scored that crucial late bonus point try last week. Up front, Finn Baxter at loosehead. What a season he's had, and Will Evans at open side, the league's premier jackler. The Bears sadly lost AJ McGinty to a concussion at Ashton Gate last week, so they've had to tweak their plans a little bit. Callum Sheedy taking the reins once more. Could be his final game for Bristol after 10 years plus with the club. Noah Heward, the only other change in the back division, swapping with the bench-bound now Lango. Pat Lam broadly leaving the pack alone, with the exception of Harry Thacker, who'll make his first start since December at hooker. Kyle Sinclair off to Toulon, remember. Bradbury back to Edinburgh. There's no shortage of motivation today as they go in search of a playoff place that, for the Bears, if we're honest, look like fantasy at Christmas time. Plenty of good head-to-heads to get stuck into, Flats.
There's only one for me to talk about. Collier against Genge. Collier, Quins legend, been here, done so much for the club, leaves last home game today. Spine set in concrete. England's premier scrummaging tight head against Genge. The animal, the all-rounder, the most aggressive prop in England. Cannot wait.
While Flats has gone for scrums, I've gone for more counter-attacking open rugby. And look, we've got a current England international looking to re-establish himself in the squad on the Bristol side in Max Malins, and opposite him, Tyrone Green, a potential future England international who's been pulling up trees for Harlequins all season long.
So Bristol assembling in crucial fashion just ahead of today. They were nowhere at the turn of the year, off the Premiership pace, playing a brand of rugby that they neither liked nor were suited to, but they found their watershed moment and they found their mojo. Harlequins, the opposition. English rugby's great entertainers. Fitzharding leading his side out. That defeat at Connacht in January, prompting a bit of soul-searching for Bristol, some brutal honesty, some simplification of their game plan, and a return to their freewheeling DNA, which brought 6 straight Premiership wins before Saracens' dose of reality last weekend. But they've got every sniff here, a bonus point win today, and get this done, David, maybe, just maybe, even the Bristan Bull scars might begin to disappear from 2021.
Maybe, but they make a playoff semi-final, and then we're talking about the last one they made. So they've got a couple of games to go if they're going to heal those scars fully. But one thing we do know is they will absolutely rip into it. There'll be some kicking today, but I don't reckon there'll be all that much.
I think that's fair. I'd love to get a vague idea of the aggregate score total that we think we're going to see today. I mean, it could quite easily top 3 figures, Topsy.
Well, I think if it's not anything north of 100 points, we'll be disappointed.
Yes.
So let's hope. We know what's at stake for both these sides, absolutely. You've got to go for it. You can't worry about what's happening elsewhere. You do your job and then figure it out afterwards.
So, as all across the land today, plenty of emotion here at the Stoop for some proud men making a last stand here at the Stoop. Will Collier plus children, Andre Esterhuizen plus children. Such extraordinary servants to this club. Hard to replace, both of them. And Lewis Liner, who is off to Benetton next season as well. They're all playing their final game for Harlequins here at the Stoop, and Liner Senior watching on wistfully. Well, Quins fans have been on a white knuckle ride this season across 2 competitions. wild fluctuations of form week to week, even within games. They've been breathtakingly good. They've been jaw-droppingly slack inside 80 minutes, let alone across 8 months. That late bonus point try last weekend at Sandy Park has given them a playoff lifeline. Though clearly they need a Saracens win over Sale. They need preferably a Tigers win over Exeter. We are going to need eyes everywhere today. Fortunately for everybody watching at home, we have those eyes. And we have some wonderful mathematicians in the commentary box in David Flatman and Topsy Ojan, reliably informed, top of the class in maths.
I got a C.
That'll do.
Is that right?
So here we go, folks. Buckle up. Referee today is Adam Leal, and it should be a real thriller. We will have updates regularly from all around the grounds just to see who's going to squeeze into those final 2 playoff spots. Saints there, Saracens there, and everybody else jostling for 2 places. Callum Sheedy for Bristol. Huge support in behind Andre Esterhazen already, the chanting fans at his back.
Can I start the game by being really boring? There were about 40 Bristol players 15 metres in front of that kick. I'm just saying, and that's the last time I'm going to mention it.
No, it's a justifiable remark, and I don't think there'll be too many disputing it. It does happen very regularly these days. Here they go, off the top, Bristol. Randall to James Williams, and Sheedy looking to punch it up the middle on that 10-metre line. Sheedy, Williams again, lovely from Hewitt. Ibitoye is running free, former Harlequin, of course. Ibitoye close to the line. Oh, he's almost got there. Extraordinary stuff from Bristol. Randall, wide, try, Williams. Not 1 minute on the clock. And the Bears steaming out of the blocks.
All good at them.
Incredible start from Bristol. And you could almost see the setup from the initial first phase. The first phase didn't look too purposeful, not too much intent, but it was all about setting up for the second phase. Really clever stuff, really well created, really well finished. Just the speed onto the ball in this phase, flooding that far side channel with numbers. I thought Ibitoye had butchered this one. Could he have passed it in field? But no, lovely leg drive, lovely power. Randall, knowing all those Harlequins players, can't do anything about it. What a start. I said 100 points. There we go.
Tyrone Green steps in. Does he need to? Could he have left the work for the inside man? Doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point is they didn't have time, the Harlequins defence. They didn't have the time to communicate. The ball was too quick. The final pass from Randall. It's a great pass. It's an easy score. What a start. I know we've been talking it up. I know we've been excited. We weren't expecting that. Crazy.
And Sheedy adds 2 from the touchline. Just a little taste of what we can expect across TNT Sports coverage this afternoon. The Gallagher Premiership, which has been pretty bonkers from start to finish, if we're honest. Continuing in that vein right to the final day. So Harlequins already needing to find some sort of response. Up goes Bernhard Janse van Rensburg, who this week was named April's Player of the Month. Week in, week out, some high-class performances. Genge on the carry.
Big carry, big shot by Finn Baxter. 2 English looseheads probably competing for the same shirt this summer. Bit of venom.
Well, little doubt about the way Bristol have come to play, but little doubt about the serious nature of the defending on that occasion from Harlequins.
Well, the thing about Bernhard Janse van Rensburg, Topsy, is you've got to properly hit him if you want him to stop. And the thing about Chandler Cunningham South is he properly hits everyone.
Absolutely, and they'll both know each other really well from their time together at London Irish. So Janse van Rensburg has definitely felt that one. He's had the wind knocked out of him, big collisions, and this is what Harlequins want. You know Bristol want to move the ball from all areas of the pitch, so actually if you can force turnovers in this area of the field, you make your life so much easier.
Well, a little breather, 3 minutes in, and you just get the impression every single player out there is going to need those today. Every opportunity to take a moment, and this is how Bernhard Janse van Rensburg was injured. Cunningham South, no messing.
I reckon it might be the landing that winded him, because the hit itself's good, but it's up top, it's shoulder high. If he's had the wind knocked out of him, it must be when a big unit landing on top of you doesn't help, does it?
Proper hard nut.
Yeah.
Van Rensburg
And him.
farming stock and will surely not stay down for too long. What a season Cunningham South has had. Real breakthrough times for the young English blind side. This does not look promising for Bristol. It must be said, he has been so pivotal, hasn't he, in that midfield.
I mean, this is big. This is really big because he's not only the Gallagher Premiership Player of the Month last month, he's the best player in this team for me, the most important player, and he's coming off. But if you're going to bring someone off the bench, well,
that's your mark, yeah, you said that.
One of the hardest players to play against in the world would be nice.
Virami Vakatawa, a little earlier than even he might have thought. Onto the field, and a sickening blow, really, for the Bears. Van Rensburg, who started every single Premiership match and has been so consistent, so durable, so very reliable for Pat Lam. And importantly, not to bang on too much about stats on a day like today, he's just been extraordinary with those post-contact meters, second only behind Jasper Wiese this season.
The numbers are absolutely there to back up what he's been doing, but the key thing, he has become a glue in that team. Error count very, very low, so that is a huge loss so early on.
Quins looking to make the most of it. Esterhuizen crashes upfield. Kerr, straight on top of him. Sinclair, should say, he's driven him right back behind the gain line. Good leg drive this time from Harlequins as they power up towards the 22.
Pause there.
Smith scanning in behind. Looking for Liner to arrive late, but there's plenty of cover there from Bristol. And a penalty goes Harlequins' way. The Bears not rolling away. Thacker, the guilty party.
So hard for Harry Thacker. Have a look at this from Carl Sinclair. He's onside just about, flat out on his toes. It's probably marginal. But you want the big boys to be alert and be awake defensively to a threat like Danny Kerr. That's 18.5, 19 stone, absolutely light on his feet, alert, aware. Fantastic defence.
He's seen that Danny Kerr snipe a few times in training back in the day, so very alive to it.
Just the 9 years spent with Quins, Carl Sinclair, and reacquainting himself with old friends today. Off to Toulon next season, so keen to leave his mark. Harlequins likewise, 6 metres away from the try line. Up goes Levis. The drive is good. Round to this near side they come.
Down by Quins.
Dornbrandt turns.
All available. Hold.
Esterhuizen waits.
And use it!
Cunningham South breaks away. Will Evans for company in the carry. Here's Esterhuizen now. Trying to batter his way through Callum Sheedy. The ball somewhat loose, and it's been knocked on by Harlequins, and a big win defensively for the Bears.
Well, it is a big win, but I don't think anyone knocked the ball out of his hands from what I could see. I think it was a very aggressive contact from Esterhuizen, and he just lost control as he ran over the top. Callum Sheedy. Really good maul defence, actually, from Bristol. Got that on the deck quick. Really good hustle. Got Quins to the touchline, so there was no blind side to defend. What that meant was that he will have known straight away that Esterhuizen was coming at him. Turns out, did enough.
Callum Sheedy, who hasn't actually played any rugby meaningfully since Christmas. They've been deploying AJ McGinty at 10, of course, and James Williams has been the man covering 10, so there hasn't actually been a bench spot for Callum Sheedy. But we know how important he's been to Bristol over the years. No doubt he'll relish this occasion.
Bind! Pre-engage, number 3.
Free kick at the scrum.
Number 3, pre-engage.
A few verbals from Genge afterwards. Just getting stuck into Collier, just a little bit early, losing a bit of balance. What a kick that is. What a nudge.
Huge. Beautifully measured.
Your mark on the edge.
And taking Bristol into opposition territory. Look at that. Working very hard, Bristol, with Dave Allred on spiral kicking from hand, trying to get those extra 5-10 metres or so on the kick.
That's fine. Got the man at the same time. More.
Herbst with line-out ball.
Just step. Nice.
Beard on the chase for this. Noah Heward waiting in the backfield. Smith waiting for him. Again, off their feet this time.
He's rolled again to avoid it. You can't turn over again on the floor.
We're not mucking around on the floor today, are we? We're after a quick game. Referee Leal's after a quick game. Harry Thacker got pinged a couple of minutes ago. You remember it was hard for him to get out of there. There are a lot of these decisions these days that you think, well, actually, I'm not sure the player could have got out of there. But the idea is they make the effort not to fall there in the first place, so we get a quicker game, doesn't get bogged down at the breakdown.
That's your mark, yeah.
Harlequins will be looking now for a rather more clinical execution in the red zone, where they've been very strong 39% of the time. Inside the opposition 22, they come away with a try. Not so the last time they were here. Quick ball from Kerr. Esterhazen on a trademark line. Kerr again. Dombrand. Cunningham South! That's how it's done. You want clinical? Call for Chandler.
It's monstrous, it's direct, it's powerful, but you know what? It's clever. It's really clever. Quins go to the front again. That's not the ball you normally use to play. Bristol, look at them, they all think they're going to maul. They're caught by surprise a bit. The hands from Kerr are fantastic and quick. Esterhazen, massive unit. Dombrand, massive unit, holds defenders. Chandler Cunningham South, massive unit in the space outside the defenders who are worried about Dombrand. It's well considered. It's caught Bristol off guard because it was front line out ball. They thought they were going to drive and didn't. Very good attack from Quins.
So cleverly orchestrated again, getting into that gap where there's disalignment between the two defences. So the back of the lineup, which is also key. If you can get into that, you guarantee yourself front foot ball, and then you'll see the front line jumps down to get Dombrand. The second line gets left behind. Lovely gap for Cunningham South. Harlequins right back in the game.
We see these balls out the back all the time. But when they work best is when defenders are genuinely worried enough about the guy with the ball in the front line to stick, and he's moving onto it with such velocity that they have to mark him. Nice celebration for the big man. He's had a big impact so far, isn't he?
First try in Harlequins colours in the Premiership for Chandler Cunningham South.
Stay on, lads. Make sure.
Man with a huge future, already marking himself out as a fan favourite. 7 points each, 10 minutes gone. And a little bit of news from the rec as well, which we'll bring you in just a moment or two. It's going to be that kind of day. Kerr from the base. And not finding touch, finding Malins. Vakatawa. Randall for Dunn. Sheedy, Williams, Malins, nice handling, lovely ball for Ibitoye to run onto. Enjoying a bit of freedom out there on their left flank for Bristol. Gensch, building nicely. Bristol. Sinclair. Sheedy to Vakatawa, very strong work from Will Evans. He was waiting for that, he'd anticipated it. James Dunn, dragged down by Cunningham South. And then through half a hole goes Randall, and Harding is there. And still they edge towards that 22. Sinclair, Sheedy looking to find the edge. Malins gets it away. Beautifully done. Bradbury, and onwards to Batley. A try last week against Saracens. Camped in the 22 now, Bristol. Sinclair holds that back nicely. Oh, it's gone forwards from Luatua. And here come Harlequins. Here comes Green, steps on the gas, and then moves in field, and Heward makes an important tackle. Beard, though. Northmore. Quins need support. Such a quick game already. Smith, crossfield to the kick pass. Liner waiting. Gathers it brilliantly. Pops it up. Away goes Cunningham South. Across comes Ibitoye. Bouncing through him, Cunningham South. And then slung to the ground, and the ball goes forwards. Goodness. Breathless rugby.
Incredible passage of play. Bristol getting some momentum, getting through the carry, and then on the turnover, their Achilles heels. So many turnovers, and the Harlequins, one of the best at the counter-attack. That's a lovely kick pass by Marcus Smith. Finds liner, and then Cunningham South versus Ibitoye. You think, who's going to win this one? Ibitoye does really well not to get bumped, to just about slow him up enough for extra cover to get over there and tackle him into touch. Really good stuff by both teams.
I tell you what, Callum Sheedy did well just to wait on the floor and make that tackle late. Did really, really well covering that crossfield kick, but geez, there was some space outside there for Quins, wasn't there? Marcus Smith, that man there, that will not have escaped his notice.
I think one thing we know, anytime Bristol turn the ball over, Harlequins will light up. They will move that ball to the space quickly, and it will be panic stations for that Bristol defence.
Here's Ibitoye, who has been enjoying himself so far this afternoon. Infringement in the air.
Well, Ernie Herbst then, what he wants to do then is grab the player one-on-one as he lands. The guy catches the ball, the defender wants to grab him one-on-one. And it's effectively a tackle then.
You're pulling him before he's down.
But he didn't let him land first. That's the offence.
Him in the air before he's down.
So touch his phones, and that enables us to take you to the Rec for news of a try from Bath, Topsy.
Yeah, it's first blood to Bath down at the Rec. They know they just need the point to guarantee themselves a spot in the playoffs, but dominant scrum. Josh Palis picking up the scraps, and it's Bath who have the lead.
Well, can I just say that Ted Hill rode up off the flank onto his opposition prop there, so the ref didn't spot that. I don't want to start doing, you know, scrum refereeing from 120 miles away, but...
Yeah, they make space for Noah Heward, and an outstretched arm from Tyrone Green prevents that from developing still further. Thacker, Dunn, Randall, Sheedy, Williams to Heward. Randall again, fizzing around the ruck and creating a bit of space for Harding. Batley's done well off the deck to Luatua. This is trademark Bears stuff. Vakatawa finds Randall, and now they look to find the edge. Batted onwards from Sheedy. Genge throws the dummy. Oh my goodness! That's outrageous!
It's crazy.
It's outrageous, and it's also very fortuitous for Ellis Genge that he managed to pull that off. Men queuing to his left, but Genge was intent on one thing, and the job was done.
Men queuing up outside, but he knew. It all started with that guy there. There's some nice interplay around the breakdown. This is all nice, but when Luatua gets the ball, he's covered. But watch this, there's a little bit of footwork you can't quite see in the offload. Takes out two players, the offload was fantastic. It's the second time he's done it, he's a class act. Genge now, yes, there are players coming across, but he knows that scramble defence is flying at full speed. He backs himself, backs his footwork and power. What a score, fantastic. Luatua just quietly in the middle there, the class act.
I just love the setup again. Again, it looked quite slow, almost like a build-up. And then as they built, they went through the gears, offloads, causing all sorts of havoc in the Harlequins defence. Really, really good score. Bristol back in the lead.
Backfield, just slow down, Adam. Check that
Bristol 14-7 up, and Chandler Cunningham South having to make way. On comes James Chisholm for his 150th first-team appearance. This is a head injury assessment for the blind side, so all Quins fans will be very hopeful that
all good, mate.
He'll return in 10 minutes' time. Up she goes from Smith, taken in by Vakatawa, and there's Thacker. Sinclair to the line. Williams does well. Malins again, working space for Heward. And Quins are in over the top of it. They snaffle the ball, and away they come. Tyrone Green. Big ball out wide for Northmore. So good since returning from injury, Luke Northmore.
No advantage, hold the ball on slow.
And back we go for the ruck penalty a few moments ago.
Do you know, I was just thinking before Alex Dombrandt intervened at that wide breakdown, he and Will Evans, I was going to say it the next break in play, they got a job on today because Bristol are getting too much quick ball. Dombrandt and Evans have been so good. Two of the best players in England at opposition breakdown, slowing it down, nicking ball. In the first quarter of an hour, they haven't done it enough, and Bristol have been running riot with quick ball. And as I was thinking it, in stepped the man. More turnovers than anyone else. Fantastic bit of work, that.
Smith taking aim, presumably at the corner, as tight as he can manage. Makes it to within sight of the 22. To Welford Road we go, Topsy.
Yeah, tries coming all over the country, and this time it's the extra chiefs getting what they need. Lovely stuff from the set piece, getting it to the space, and a man who we're talking about, who we love talking about, Emmanuel Faye-Wabosa with the score. That is Leicester 3, Chiefs 7 as it stands.
Extraordinary effort from a young man who's come so far in a very, very short space of time. Quins have fluffed their lines at line-out time, and Ibitoye is running free again.
How about that pass from Harry Thacker? Didn't expect the ball, missed pass straight to 12. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's fine, he's out of the way.
Sheedy, Luatua, ever present, the former skipper. Heward, Batley. Just quietly, another man who's had an exceptional season, Joe Batley. Harding to Genge again. One man to beat. Thacker's on the outside, and Thacker tries to round Smith. Brilliant tackle from the Harlequins fly half. Quick ball though for Randall, and it's Ellis Genge time yet again. Bristol absolutely ruthless, but it will require checking.
Tommy, on-field decision is try. I just want to check for a knock-on, and also whether he releases the ball before he gets back up.
Okay, so we're checking whether Harry Thacker locks the ball on, and then whether he releases the ball before getting back up.
Yep.
Okay.
Ellis Genge thought Harry Thacker had scored, didn't he?
Yeah,
Punch
he
in the
did.
air.
It's just coming your way now, Adam.
Big celeb.
So tackle is complete.
Yeah, he's got up.
Gets up with the ball, doesn't he?
Gets up without releasing the ball. So, no try.
Ooh. Tell you what, it's a let off for Quins. That lovely work through the middle. Genge, fantastic work. Those two Bristol props are flying so far today. They look great.
And actually, we talk about him celebrating early. If he just stayed on his shoulder, he might have got the offload off the floor rather than Thacker having to release and try and get up.
Well, his argument will be that Harry Thacker should be quicker.
So the clearance kick affected by Quins. Bath now leading Saints by 14 points to 0. They've scored a second time. Chiefs 7-3 up at Welford Road.
Can't get up.
And Gloucester, for those interested in the Gloucester Falcons setup, they're leading by 12 against Newcastle at Kingsholm. Newcastle looking to avoid
Ball is inside the 5.
an entire season without a league victory today. Kerr charged down by Genge, who's making a real menace of himself so far this afternoon.
We must be sick of the sight of him. We're only 18 minutes in. Oh, we're off. Of course we are.
John, live, yep. Thank you.
Northmore from just outside the 22. Malin's chasing back. With adventure on his mind for the time being, and Heward on the outside. Across comes Kerr, and in comes Northmore. Meaty challenge.
What a fantastic tackle, and an important one too. Won the turnover. Do you know what? We're off. It's not on the mark though.
Can't let you take it in front of
He
the
knew.
mark. Number
He
7
knew.
was the latch player, went straight off his feet. There was no access.
But you know what? It's a brilliant chase from Quins. Really, really good. But that for me is pushing it too far from Bristol. There's not really the numbers. Max Malins is waiting for his outside man, Noah Heward, to get back in line. If you're waiting for the guy to get back behind you, it's not a counter-attack, because he's running shuttles. He's running backwards to take the ball and start again. And again, a bit like we heard from Sarries last week. Jamie George told us, Topsy, didn't he? We knew Bristol weren't going to kick, so we piled up on the chase. And it worked. Sometimes you do have to clear your lines.
Just occasionally. Discretion, the better part of valour.
I mean, if they do, we'll call them boring, so they can't win.
Luatua's got blood coming from his eye.
So a little bit of treatment for Stephen Luatua around the eye area for the moment, allowing for the players to take stock from either side.
We didn't feel they'd marked it. So it has
Bonus
to be
points.
2 and 2 for each team.
Absolutely critical, remember, this afternoon. And there's been another try at Welford Road. This one's gone the way of the Tigers.
Yeah, we have, and It's a try that will please both sets of supporters here, Quins and Bristol. Leicester working the ball really nicely to that far left-hand hedge, and Ollie Hassel-Collins, a man who knows how to score tries, inside one, outside the other. It's a score that puts Leicester 10-7 up in that game.
Inside one, outside the other, and it does help being 6'3" and massive, doesn't it? But yeah, both. You just saw Faye Waboso just come up there and they just worked their way outside him. Didn't quite work defensively. Game on.
Scoreless at the StoneX, which is the reason why the Sale Sharks remain in 4th place as it stands. Bath leading Northampton at the Rec, so they're up into 2nd for the time being. Bristol, Exeter, Harlequins all scrapping hard. Quins with good line-out ball and an excellent drive, looks really well set.
This time Quins landed and went straight away, didn't they? Didn't give Bristol any time, but Bristol looked to be recovering.
Popped out for Esterhazen. And still they keep it tight. Driving through Levis. Chisholm sets it up. Close to the line, and those tackles raining in. Fitzharding to the fore for Bristol. Ibitoye similarly now. And Harlequins looking to be patient through their phase play. Here's Baxter. Kerr, short range, and 3 Bristol men to meet him. Dombrandt assessing the various options, and he's tumbling over the top. The challenge from Vakatawa. Oh, that's interesting. A grounding has been seen by the assistant referee on the far side of touch.
We're going to check the same thing we checked down there for your try, OK? John.
That man is Jonathan Healy.
So we're on-field decision try, similar to what we checked for Bristol down there. I want to check that he's not tackled and then created momentum again to get over the line, and also that his teammates haven't also pushed him over the line. OK?
Yeah, I've got all that, Adam. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
So a review for
Adam, it looks like he just continues driving through. Here's your best angle. So the knee is never on the ground, so there's no tackle complete. It's now just down to the grounding.
Yeah. So we've definitely got a grounding on field, Tom. OK,
if you've got a grounding, there is no compelling evidence to overturn, so stick with your on-field decision.
OK, so this one more angle. Yeah, so he's never actually brought to ground, keeps driving and grounds the ball on the line.
They're all the angles we have, Adam.
Yeah, OK, so try's good. Try's fine.
The try is awarded to Alex Dombrandt, and Harlequins with their 2nd of the afternoon.
Really good graft from Quins, although it kind of looks like they're sort of stuck in a bog and it's sort of a bit agricultural. It's pick and go, it's one-out rugby. Actually, the ball was quick. The ball was really quick almost every time. Not when they scored it, but when they scored it, they had numbers to help Dombrandt get over, and he got low to the ground and really ground it out. Good graft from the Quins number 8. But you think Bristol probably need to do more there to slow that ball down. You think about the very best teams at Toulouse's, the Leinsters. They are steaming into a handful of those breakdowns, 3 or 4 men deep, and slowing that ball down or trying to counter-ruck. Bristol perhaps allow Quins a bit too readily to get quick ball then. Goes both ways, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. At one point I was thinking Bristol doing really well to make tackles and have men on their feet, but just not quite putting enough pressure on the ball, making Harlequins commit more numbers. They were in control, and Dombrandt, really clever score.
There's a fine kick from Marcus Smith. Tying things up here at the Stoop. 14 points each. And even better news for Quins is that Chandler Cunningham South has passed his HIA. He'll be back with us shortly.
Good news for us too. Get to watch him some more. What a game.
OK, use it, please.
Developments at the StoneX. We'll take you there in just a moment or two as Danny Kerr goes high with the kick. Up goes Malins, and Takes it well from close to Oscar Beard. Here's Sinclair. Driven back well. Finn Baxter again, putting heart and soul into that defensive effort. Will Evans alongside him. Vakatawa squeezes it back. Malins, Luatua. Heward on the bounce. Gensch, one-handed, and the ball knocked on as a consequence. So a little bit of frustration from the Bristol Bears loose head as we take you to the StoneX for news of a try from the Sale Sharks.
Yeah, and it's a big score for the Sale Sharks. Again, looking to close in on that 4th playoff spot. Tom Roebuck, lovely little break, step off the right-hand foot, going in for his 10th score of the season.
Quins.
It's a score that puts Sale in the lead and gives them one step on the road to securing a playoff spot.
What a try, some player, Roebuck? Some player who'll be picking up some caps soon, you'd imagine.
So there's the new table as it is, as we see Cunningham South back on for Chisholm, and Sale leading Saracens. Doesn't actually change the top 4 as it stands. Could be a huge result. Sharks, of course, have never been victorious in the league at the StoneX against Saracens.
I mean, the playoff table is going to keep changing all afternoon long, but I think whichever way it lands, it's going to be some big fixtures. I mean, you can't wait either way, whichever way it goes.
I've been sitting and thinking about who's the team you'd like to play the least in the playoffs, and I actually think the team you'd like to play the least is Quins, anywhere, home or away, because you don't know. You don't know. They might have one of their off days or off periods, or they might score 9 tries. You don't know. Whereas with other teams, you feel like even if what's coming is a very high standard, you kind of know roughly what's coming. Sarries, you know you're playing against an international team. Saints the same. Bath, they got this massive pack. They got Finn Russell. You kind of know. Quins, what? Do the coaches know? I'm not sure.
I don't think any of them know.
Does he know?
If we're really honest. But that's what you sign up to as a Quins fan, isn't it? You take the rough with the smooth. It's a kind of Faustian pact. But you're going to be entertained, and entertainment, of course, is actually in their club's mission statement. They do that week in, week out. Don Brandt goes to ground, well beyond the gain line, and the ball is loose. Ibitoye's onto it. Now then, Green is chasing after him, and Ibitoye just strides clear, untouched. For Bristol's 3rd of the afternoon, Harlequins a little bit sloppy in the midfield, and it's the Bristol smiles we're seeing now.
Well, just in that moment, you see a snapshot of how things can change. Ibitoye, he's under all sorts of pressure here because Harlequin's first phase is so good, but his positioning in defence causes the indecision of the pass. It goes to floor, he picks up the scraps, then it's a foot race. Can Green or Smith get back? No, they can't. Lovely stuff. Well done, Ibitoye. He saved this team conceding a try and gets one of his own.
The pass out the back from China Cunningham South, it's one of those ones that it doesn't really fool any defenders because he's not steaming onto that ball. Yes, it's not that accurate. It's a bit too far in front of Marcus Smith, but if that man there, Ibitoye, is not appearing in the eye line of Marcus Smith takes that. But he's got the pass isn't quite accurate. Someone flying up in his peripheral vision. So actually, Ibitoye defended brilliantly, then finished it off himself, didn't he?
I'll tell you what, the pace was impressive too, wasn't it? Because Tyrone Green is no one's idea of a slouch. Neither is Marcus Smith, but he burnt them off comfortably.
There's one bloke could have caught him, but he's in the NFL now.
This is true. Putting together some impressive numbers. Gabriel Ibitoye this season, first in the charts for metres made, for defenders beaten, for offloads. Second for clean breaks. And here come the Bears again. Malins, dummy, through the hole. Heward on the outside, Randall on the inside. Heward needs to offer something here. Randall needs to pop it, gets it away. Oh, and Heward's dropped it. Across comes Green.
Still scrum advantage, see what happens.
Smith just can't bring themselves to clear the ball via the boot. Knowing that they had the advantage, it was always worth a little speculation.
Did Tyrone Green do just enough then? That was beautiful from Max Malins.
I can't check it.
Really, really good.
So that's what we're going with.
Really nice. Gets outside. Second last defender. Bamboozles everyone. Options either way. Great options either way. But keep your eye on Tyrone Green now. Just gets a hand in there, does he?
outside the 22.
So it's been called a knock-on. I reckon that might have come off, well, both of them probably, but Tyrone Green definitely made contact with that ball going backwards.
Good patience.
So everything very much still up for grabs here, and so much to look forward to across the afternoon in the Gallagher Premiership. But today also the day we've been waiting for on the boxing front. You can join us tonight, one of the biggest fights in heavyweight history. Tyson Fury head-to-head with Alexander Usyk in Riyadh to determine the undisputed world heavyweight champion. You can catch it live on TNT Sports box office.
I'm all over that. I'm all over it. I can't wait. My whole weekend's obviously planned around this game, honest, also around that fight.
Brilliant summer of sport ahead on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus as well. Just a little look at the various offerings, including Roland Garros, Champions Cup final, Olympic Games. It's all there for you as Harlequins win the scrum penalty.
Will Collier very, very strong. Finn Baxter very keen to follow him through and get into Carl Sinclair. Really, really powerful from Quins. And you just saw at the end, Carl Sinclair, of course. Big name in these parts. Just got a little head rub from his old mate, Stefan Levis. Good scrummaging from Quins.
Booming clearance from Marcus Smith. Big distance.
I think the pressure began on the far side through Collier. If you watch, they start moving forward first on the far side, but then keep your eye on Finn Baxter here. He can follow his mate through.
Mate, just speak to Quins for
about Collier causing problems.
Players after penalty
he is a tank, and he's a very good signing for Cast, as he is for Toulon.
Louise, sorry.
He's had a remarkable time of it, particularly in recent weeks, hasn't he? Against those much vaunted French props from Bordeaux and Toulouse.
Hey, we speak to people in training sessions on touchlines, off mic, off camera. You speak to the lads around the Premiership, you mention his name and they say, mate, he's such hard work.
Could have 50 caps in another world. It wasn't to be. So all the latest scores along the bottom of your screen now. Gloucester have got the bonus point on the try front against the Newcastle Falcons. We know what's going on here. Bristol leading by 7. And arguably most interesting, Welford Road right now. Leicester leading the Exeter Chiefs by 20 points to 7. That is huge. That is really huge, because the Chiefs can really do some damage if they come away with a bonus point win there. Saracens 3, Sale 7 currently from the Stonex.
Seems like Leicester are properly turned up. Great games everywhere. I wouldn't be anywhere else personally. Great games everywhere.
Cunningham South providing the line-out ball. Once again, that initial drive from Quins, very, very strong. And a little bit of support from the back division. They're within range now. Kerr calling for it. And Adam Leal's given the ball to Bristol.
I've clearly got the first man down by Quins.
Harlequins brought that maul down themselves in the eyes of the referee.
Great stuff, exactly what you want when there's a pile-up like that. You want decisive refereeing. Again, hasn't worked for Quins, and they've landed and tried to get set and get everyone in the right position. What's working for them is a bit of carnage. Land and go.
Agreed.
I think that last man in on the side there, Flats, was probably the guilty party from Harlequins. Looks like a good decision.
Yeah, it does. You've got Quins guys piling forward, and you can imagine it's really, really hard to keep your feet. So you fold in, you trip up, and quite, you know, not that long ago, every time a maul was moving forward like that and it fell over, you got a penalty. But actually, really often, it's you that takes it down because you trip over your mates or trip over your own feet, whatever it is. So really good refereeing.
That's what we're talking about when we talk about composure, Topsy. So close to the line, such big stakes.
Well, this is it, with the margins as fine as they are. That's Harlequins, 2 tries from 5 visits. So they're going to need to make that count as the game goes out, because we know Bristol can score tries, and obviously they do have a half an eye on what's going on elsewhere. So it's all going to add up. Plenty of time left in this game, of course, but those red zone efficiency stats are going to be key.
Scrum penalty to Bristol.
Good call. Good call. Kyle Sinclair properly dug in then. Quins are going for them. That was big time scrummaging from Big Sink. Really, really strong. It's on the other side where the problems were, really. It goes down this side, but you can rescue that. It's really the proper collapses on the far side here. You watch Baxter goes for him, you watch Sinclair, he's low. That back is iron. And in the end, it's Baxter that slips underneath.
Well, that's huge for Bristol to hold out in those moments. Harlequins have had their chances in this first half and not made quite as much of them as they would have liked. Randall to the short side. Ibitoye fizzing around the ruck.
Step in, nice.
Sheedy does well to hang on to that. Here's Luatua freeing up Genge. Oh, Cunningham South is launching himself today.
And everyone else.
Sheedy, Vakatawa, Williams to Ibitoye. Oh, there's another thunderbolt. This one from Oscar Beard. And Quins piling over the top. Beard has it. And Beard sets off on his own. Esterhazen to Levis, to Smith. Broken field, just what he wants. Oh, and it wouldn't there. Stick for Liner. Off the fingertips. And the moment has gone. And I think from a Quins coaching perspective, they'll just be looking at these micro moments and thinking they're all adding up to rather a lot, actually.
Yeah, we're looking at these. Booyah, don't need Fury against Usyk. All the shots are raining in here. Oscar Beard. Oh, he's out of position on the wing. No, he knows what he's doing, it turns out. Shot after shot. It was almost on that break tops. It was almost like Liner dropped it. Marcus Smith was almost too sharp for his own mate then.
He was. It was a lovely jink off the right foot. He's created a gap in between the two defenders and he just needed Liner a bit closer on his shoulder. And you're right, Ali. The coaches will have said, turn them over, high up the pitch, attack with purpose and intent, and make them pay. And at the moment, they're just not. Will they get more opportunities? Absolutely, because Bristol do turn the ball over, but we just spoke about it a few minutes ago. You've got to make these opportunities count.
On the plus side, from a Harlequin angle, it is so loose and it's already so broken that we know they can score in double quick time really heavy. We've seen it time and time and time again. It seems to be part of the script they follow. They almost need to be asked some very awkward questions to bring out their very best attacking game, and the likes of Nick Evans and Danny Wilson will tell you that they train for exactly these scenarios. It looks a bit chaotic to you and I perhaps, and to the casual viewer, that there is method in the madness, and if you train relentlessly for this sort of style, when you do it on game day, it feels normal, it feels right.
Set.
And you think, you know, that path very nearly didn't go down. It very nearly did stick with Lewis Liner, and if it does, it's a brilliant piece of counter-attack.
Let's just wait for it.
And Quins are away, potentially scoring again in the corner. So this is how, you're right, Ali, this is how they do it every day. Bristol too, by the way.
Lads, I'm not going to move to set until that bind movement stops, all right?
So interesting, isn't it, how clubs have their own character, and you can sort of set your clock by it. Bristol lost their compass a little bit, went too kick heavy, based around a lot of stats that were dominating the world game at the time, and then went right back to what they knew best, to how they were best suited to play. That group of players, so important to use the strategy for the players you have. Mould your strategy around that as regards any other policy. It seems to be the most successful ploy. Randall being harassed by Kerr. Lovely little battle, that one at 9. Vakatawa being manhandled. Northmore, some muscular defending. Genge is down.
He looks resigned as well, doesn't he?
Bristol are running again. Bradbury, Ibitoye, was that forwards? Liner makes the tackle. Ibitoye rolls onwards and onwards. Bristol playing with 14. Genge still not back to his feet. In the meantime, his prop mate Sinclair making ground. Randall, Sheedy thinks about the cross-field kick. Hewitt is lurking. They're going to go back in the other direction first, and Malins is there. Sinclair. Bradbury. 3 tries already, remember. Bristol, 1 more for the bonus point.
So Bristol playing with 13 at the minute. Genge in the backfield and Sheedy now down as well.
Yeah. 2 men advantage for Harlequins, but they don't have the ball. Luatua has it. Randall working that short side very effectively, and the footwork and the power from Ibitoye has been exemplary. That is one of the more special turnovers of the day, though, by the look of things.
Well, it is. It's fantastic. But then why is Harry Thacker not allowed to take it back off him? Let him fight for it.
Harlequins back in possession. I'm not sure whether they understand whether they are playing with a two-man advantage.
Callum Sheedy's hopping across the field now on one leg to try and defend. Ellis Genge getting carried off.
He's in absolutely no position to make any tackle here. Callum Sheedy hopping around. A penalty to Quins. Ellis Genge is being helped off the field. Sheedy's now down, hands on his face in despair. What a pivotal moment you feel this could be with just a handful of minutes left in the first half. Ellis Genge is in a lot of pain. That could have ramifications well beyond the club game, of course, with England touring Japan and New Zealand this summer. And Callum Sheedy's situation is suggestive of a man who's not going to be playing much further part this afternoon.
Yeah, but he's really struggling too. Something looks like something goes, doesn't it? He's in a lot of pain. All I'll say is we hope it's nothing serious, but you just desperately hope that's not an Achilles. That's what I think when I see that.
But injury, yeah, Mark's injury.
And Ellis Genge comes out of a very, very aggressive, long scrum. So, I mean, it could be anything, but there's a huge amount of pressure in there, especially against Quins. And the pressure came on late. There was a bit of torsion and twisting in there, so you start thinking about calves, knees, ankles. Not the sort of joint you'd imagine getting hurt in a scrum, but they often do.
This is a very sad moment because it more than likely spells the end of Callum Sheedy's time with Bristol after more than a decade. Help from the fields. Those pictures suggest you'll be doing very well, even if they do progress to the playoffs, to play any part in them. And with Ellis Genge going off and Bernhard Janse van Rensburg, of course, so early, those are three really big characters for the Bears to have lost, and it will prompt a big old reshuffle. Now Lango is on, James Williams will move to 10. Smith, in the meantime, pumps Quins up towards halfway.
Really big guys to lose. Of course, it's very sad. We all know that, but in the context of this game, it's big. And you've got, Vakatawa coming off the bench tops. He's a wonderful player. Now Lango's on now. Very, very dangerous. But actually, you've got to try and have the impact the guys were having before, and that's hard when you're talking about Van Rensburg, Sheedy, Genge.
Well, that's it. It's the cohesion, isn't it? You've now got a back line of Malians at 10, Williams and Vakatawa in the centres. Now Lango on one wing. Hewitt looks like he's gone to full-back. They would not have trained this back line in the week. So how quickly can they get together and figure it out?
Here's Ibitoye moving across field, and Williams under pressure, and then the ball spilt by Northmore.
Again.
First knock on from Bristol. Quins in possession with a scrum inside the 22.
Again, Al, Bristol have got lucky there, as it's a really, really hard ball. If Northmore has 5 goes of that, he gets 3 or 4 of them, and he's in under the post. That is... We love watching Bristol, but sometimes they're a bit too Bristol, and that's one of the examples. It's the second one we've seen in the first half, where they perhaps didn't need to push it so.
But it's the conversation we were having, though. We were down at Bristol last weekend, and they said this is what they do.
Yeah.
This is how they reset, so they're going to keep going this way. There will be occasions where it doesn't stick, and better teams currently will punish them. The Harlequins still have time in this game to punish them, but they seem to have nailed their mask to this, and that's what they're going for.
Maybe I think you're probably right, Tops. It's actually, if we stick at it, yes, there'll be the odd uncomfortable moment. We will actually get better at it if we really buy in. And those uncomfortable moments where we push it too far and it doesn't work will reduce and reduce. So I presume that's the strategy. Saints went a bit like that, didn't they? The style they play now didn't work immediately. Certainly does now.
Perhaps one last throw of the dice at the end of this first half for Harlequins. Care to Esterhazen. Savour those kind of runs while you can. It won't be happening next season. Care again, seeking runners. Cunningham South has dropped it, and Bristol cling on again once more inside the 22. Harlequins not making the most of their possession.
Absolutely not. 2 tries from 6 entries and counting. So look, it's a 7-point differential, but you'd like to think for Harlequins, for how good we've talked up their attack as well, the opportunities they're coughing up, yes, in the first half, they'll just want a little reset at half-time to say, look, guys, we're in the right place, we're doing the right things, just let's be better.
Okay, so just to recap, we've got Bath leading Northampton at the Rec by 17 points to 5. Sale 10-3 up at Saracens, and because those two are in front, they will remain in positions 3 and 4 in those two spare playoff places as it stands. Exeter, Quins and Bristol will remain in the chasing pack.
Okay, time on, please.
Latest score from Welford Road is that the Tigers are leading Exeter by 20 points to 10.
So if things stay as they are, Bath will get a home playoff semi-final.
I was just about to ask you. Sarri's going to Bath.
I'm just thinking about the environment. It means I can walk to the game, save on diesel. I don't care who wins, I just care about the planet tops.
So sustainable. Everything you'd possibly wish for. Now then, clock approaching the red. And a big scrum here for Bristol to take care of. They can get into half-time protecting that 7-point lead with just one more try for the bonus point to secure. It would be terrific, particularly when you consider those 3 crucial characters that they've lost through injury today. Randall waiting for it. They're going to keep playing. Malins, the inside ball for Heward. Lovely handoff from Heward. Men streaming up in the outside. What a gather that is from Malins. Crossfield, tearing after it is now Lango. And across comes Harlequins. In just the nick of time, Oscar Beard is there. And Marcus Smith is burrowing in there and he's booting the ball away in desperation. The Bears so nearly finishing off what would have been one of the tries of the season right at the end of the season. So Quins breathe again, and the Bears, for all their injuries, Bernard Janssen van Rensburg, Callum Sheedy and Ellis Genge unable to play any further part. The Bears are leading by 21 points to 14. Williams, Genge and Ibitoye for Bristol, Cunningham South and Dombrandt for Harlequins. Don't go anywhere. This is not over yet. What a 40 minutes ahead of us. What a 40 minutes ahead of Max Malins, who has a job to do now, we think, from fly half in the absence of Callum Sheedy. And the injury to Bernhard Janssen van Rensburg, which drafted in Virimi Vakatawa to the setup. Now Lango is with us as well. Heward has moved to fullback. So the shuffling has been quite extreme from a Bristol perspective. Ellis Genge playing no further part either, so Jake Woolmore on at loose head. Quins doing the chasing though. 7 points adrift. 40 minutes to rectify that. And the playoff situation getting ever more interesting. Bath with 3 tries now against Northampton. One more try for them, and they've got the single point they need to qualify. So then the attention will switch to the Stonex. It'll be all about whether Sale can get the job done, as they're currently leading against Saracens. If they can, they'll be in. If they can't, if Saracens come back, one of these two will go through. Here's James Dunn. Impressive the way Bristol have stuck to their task, and Finn Baxter caught napping. Dunn to Woolmore, and Batley having to time his run. Here's Ibitoye, across comes Green. Ball flung back in fields. Picked up by Dunn. Bristol threatening again. Bonus point try there for the taking. Randall darting forwards with a penalty advantage here, the Bears. Luatua now, a little bit high from Cunningham South. Second offence. Thacker now for Bristol. Options left and right, but everybody bar Ibitoye lined up to the right, to the open side.
Still under advantage.
Randall away to Williams and in behind Heward. And back we go for that penalty. Quins infringing on a couple of occasions.
It's like deja vu, the start of the first half, but really clever stuff by Bristol. As we spoke about all first half, just keeping the ball in hand, assessing their options, playing to space, trying to offload. looking for that crucial fourth try. You see here the break, so you've got Finn Baxter running backwards, so he doesn't know where the attack is coming. So actually really clever there by Dunn to find that space, and then it's just about, could they move that ball quicker, get it to your speed man. Great hit by Tyrone Green.
Great hit. And actually Chandler Cunningham South could have caught that ball that Ibitoye flicked off the floor.
Here come Bristol, searching for the fourth try, searching for the bonus. It's there.
Yes, boy!
Harry Thacker has it, appropriately, for a man who's done so much to drive Bristol towards the playoffs in recent weeks. They have 4 in the bag, and they now lead by 12 points with a conversion to come. And for all the depletion, for all the injury chaos, they're getting this job done here at the Stoop in tough conditions.
It's smart as well. It's really smart. It's a bit of a gamble chucking those balls low where no one's off the ground, but as soon as you lift, of course, the reason the opposition, the defending team, stay on the floor is because you're better at driving when you're on the floor, right, than you are in the air. So what happens is you jump up to take that ball, you want to maul it over, but you're actually weaker than the defensive team. So staying down, if you can pull it off, really, really works, because you've got 8 blokes on the deck and all their studs in the ground. What a start.
Off the post from James Williams now with the kicking duties for Bristol. But the scoreline looking healthier for Pat Lamb's men. 26 points to 14. And all important.
Slow down, because we had a problem here.
They've got the try bonus. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm happy, Adam, thank you.
Essential for them, particularly when you remember they start today 1 point behind Harlequins. That bonus point they got late on against the Chiefs through Lewis Liner last week, giving them a slender advantage going into today. But 5 points critical for the Bears. Don't write off Harlequins just yet. Surely we've learnt that by now. Dombrandt battering his way through Williams, still moving onwards. Bradbury does well. And the ball is there to be won. And Bristol secure the turnover.
Tell you what, a couple of really big collisions from Dombrandt. Looking really strong, wanting to get that ball away from the third contact, wanting to be dominant, but Magnus Bradbury, the departing Bristol number 8.
Thanks.
He had other ideas. That was strong. To be fair, defenders caught off balance, but Malin's just shrugged off. Needs to do better than that, Malins, but Bradbury puts a decent shot in there, causes a few problems.
Okay,
Had a good season, Alex Dombrandt, hasn't he? Having missed out on World Cup action, forced his way back into the Six Nations reckoning. He's been very influential as ever with Quins. Such an instinctive player, isn't he? Always seems to find himself right time, right place, great lines, and of course the intuition alongside the likes of Danny Kerr and Marcus Smith. So Bath leading Saints by some margin at the moment and needing one more try to secure the bonus point that would give them qualification. Gloucester well up on Newcastle, who look like finishing the league without a win. Bristol in front here at Quins, having scored their 4th try just moments ago through Harry Thacker. And Chiefs off the pace at Welford Road right now, trailing by 27 points to 10. That's big, because that means that these two have a real sniff here this afternoon. Just a question, if we assume Bath are going to get the bonus against Northampton, assume nothing obviously, but if they do, then it's all about Sale at Saracens, and at the moment they're leading Sarries, the Sharks, by 13 points to 3 at the Stonex. Never won there in the league. Saracens, I think, beaten, was it once in the last 2 seasons there in Premiership Rugby?
Yeah. But as the saying goes, records are there to be broken, so who knows? Can Sale Sharks get over the line and get what they need to get themselves back in the playoffs? I think a lot's going to happen still over the next 35 minutes or so.
Oh, you can count on it. Scrum penalty here goes Bristol's way. They've had the edge in this department.
Yeah, I'm not having that one though, Al. Not having that one. That's a Quins penalty all day long. Keep your eye on Walmore on this side. Lou said things are going well. He's rocked Collier a bit, but he spins around the outside. Straight up around the outside. He was doing really well, didn't need to do that. Absolutely can't run. Collier's got nothing to scrummage against then, because his opposite numbers disappeared under his armpit and scooted off up the pitch. They were rocked, were Quins, they were. But for me, you can't be given a penalty for that.
Backwards.
Line out ball secured by Dunn, not the tidiest. Malins for Williams. And this slightly makeshift back division now for Bristol.
Okay, don't play the 9 though.
Randall having to deal with Herbst.
Okay, Ernie, that's enough now.
Out it comes. Bradbury, Malins. Williams did well. Now Langer's overrun it, and Northmore's onto it. Here's Luke Northmore. Is it going to bounce for him? It is! Brilliant opportunism. You can't fault it. Knew exactly what he needed from that ball. Waited, juggled, scored. Vital times for Harlequins.
How well has he done there, Luke Northmore? How well. Super, super skill level composure. That wasn't great. That was not good execution from Bristol. The reshuffle is showing. Hasn't shown yet, it's showing now. Not coming together at all there in the midfield, minus Callum Sheedy and Benhard Jansen van Rensburg. But Quins have still got to do something about it. Brilliant under a lot of pressure from Northmore. Great score.
That's the one, isn't it? Just putting himself in a position where he can make an impact, kind of hovering in space, saying, right, I can see you coming, I can see you coming. If I need to make a tackle, I can. If I need to pounce on a loose ball, I absolutely can. Really good finish.
Third try for Harlequins. Marcus Smith threads the conversion. And here's another look.
Again, we spoke about the combinations. It's completely reshuffled back line. And there's the finish. But Northmore, you just got to put yourself in the right position to then make a play, to then react to what's happening in front of you. That was a really big reaction.
Andre Esterhazen is coming off for Quins. And that'll be the last that the Stoop sees of him. What a performer across 4 years here. He's going to be a very, very tough man to replace.
There'll be lots of lads across the Premiership who play numbers 10, 11, 10, 12 or 13 who'll be thrilled to see him going, but everyone else will miss him hugely.
On the bounce again from Malins in the midfield. Liner to Green. Quins just beginning to feel this now. Langer on the chase. Will Joseph's on the field. And now Langer is caught by Green. And the Bears are scrambling here. Harlequins have infringed.
Yeah, and Danny Kerr doesn't agree, but whether or not you agree is not the point. This was almost really nicely done. Just wonder if someone was taken off the ball there, and not really. As soon as the ref says hands off, you've got to release it. Now Lango gets back, but he's not that aggressive when he gets the ball. And it's this point, whether or not it looks legal, the ref is screaming, hands off. You've got to listen and let it go.
Now then, to the Stone X. And Dupria has scored for the Sale Sharks. Let's have a look at that.
It's a big score. Sale kicked long, and on that bouncing artificial turf, you never know where the ball's going to go. Outfoxes that Saracens back three, and Rob Dupria picking up the scraps, going in under the post. That's a huge score. Sale out to 20 points to 3 at a place they've never won.
And in the meantime, tempers boiling at the Stoop. Ernie Herbst is not a man to be messed with at the best of times, and he looks angry.
No interest in that at all. I don't know what the argument's about, but I'm on his side till the end. Right behind him.
It's been an excellent game so far, played in really good spirits.
Just listen to the Stoop at full tilt.
And you've got to take control of that kind of thing. If that happens again, it's going to be penalties, all right? I'm sure you both say that, but that's the message you've got to take. Thanks.
So we just need to draw the sting from this situation for a moment here. Get the rugby back front and centre. And Bristol clear, not quite as far as they would like. In the meantime, Bath have scored their 4th try against Northampton. They just needed a point today. So Bath have a bonus point, and they are now into the playoff semi-finals. Ben Spencer.
Ben Spencer has been so key for Bath all season long, coming up with the crucial score when it mattered most. That's the point that Bath need. They probably go on and win this game, get the 5, but they only needed a point to guarantee their place in the playoffs. And actually, if Saracens lose, they will keep that second spot.
It's loose again. Cares onto it once more, and across comes Wilmore for Bristol. Ibitoye nowhere to go. Pressure from Will Collier, who might just have done himself an injury in the process there. Looks to be in a fair degree of pain down on the ground, Will Collier.
Yeah, no worries, we've got an injury down there. Yeah.
Not comfortable at all.
That's your mark, yeah. One sec. Total off, please.
Off comes Kerr. Will Porter will play at scrum half for the remaining half hour for Harlequins.
It's certainly a comment on Porter as opposed to Kerr, but
so you've got to go past it.
For such a long time, would have felt mad to take Danny Kerr off now if he was fully fit, which he is. But this guy's played so well that actually he's worth bringing on. He can make a difference.
Change number 3, yeah.
So Kerr with a breather, Porter on, and here's the table as it stands at the moment with half an hour to play.
Yeah, sub number 3.
Bath into second place and clinging on to a home semi-final as it stands, as we say goodbye from the stoop to Will Collier. He won't be playing here again. He may be playing for Quins again in the next couple of weeks. But Will Collier's time at the stoop is done. His 13th season here. An amazing effort over all of those years. Won't forget that try against Bristol a couple of years ago. Here's Northmour bustling onwards. He is the most likely man to replace Esterhazen at 12 next year, you would suggest. Dombrandt, man on a mission. Lovely ball to Beard. What's stepping from Beard as well. And the leg drive. He's within a metre. Lays it up for Porter. Here come the heavies. Herbst. Penalty advantage behind the Quins. Levis goes to ground, and they're at it again from close range. Porter pops it to Baxter. Quins players flood to the right.
You've got the advantage, okay?
Dombrandt again for Harlequins. They want their bonus point now. And surely they will have it. Cunningham South. A force of nature today. Harlequins draw level, a conversion to move in front, and everything is still possible.
Just power, and more power. Again, Harlequins now understanding that they have all the control, the pressure's on Bristol. Dombrandt, we spoke about him earlier, how much has he grown into the game in the last few minutes, but from this position on, lovely carry there by Beard. It's just about power, winning collisions, getting over the gain line, recycling the ball. And Chandler Cunningham himself, we're going to be talking about this man for many a year. He is powerful, he is abrasive, he is 100 miles an hour, and he's got 2 tries this afternoon.
Esterhazen comes off, and you're right, Ali, you think, what's Northmour going to do up the middle? Massive carry, have some of that. Dombrandt, massive carry. Smashes off Harry Thacker, then picks a brilliant pass, the power and the skill and the vision. Then you've got Oscar Beard, loads of power. Chandler Cunningham South. We talk about the free-flowing nature of the way Quins play. You can't win games like this without some brute force, and they got load out there.
Nailed on for a trip to New Zealand this summer with England, surely, and just possibly the heir apparent to a man like Courtney Laws in the back row. Such a huge future ahead of him. And Harlequins in front now, leading by 2, and beginning to feel it. Bristol just fading a little, and I hesitate to mention this word, but Bristan Bull springs to mind. It's not quite as dramatic, of course, but 26 points to 14 they led Bristol on that day famously a couple of seasons ago. They led 28-0 after 28 minutes. And Quins scored 24 unanswered points in 15 minutes either side of half-time. Famously won the match in extra time. All of that irrelevant here today, of course, and the scrap for possession is big. Evans has it. Cunningham South pops it out. Smith dabs it forwards, gathered in by Bradbury. Maybe there's a chance here for the Bears. Randall burrowing in. Luatua again lurking in that 5-metre channel. Bradbury's carried hard today, carried hard all season. Off to Edinburgh at the end of the season to go back to Scotland. Here's Malins for Vakatawa, smuggled it away. Ibitoye. He's worked so hard to keep those arms free always, doesn't he? So the option is there. Sinclair, Thacker running a nice short line, but has to assist with the clear out instead. Malins and onwards through Harding, meeting Cunningham South. Malins again attacking the line, tried to get it away to Hewitt. It's gone forwards from Quins, and Bristol have another shot. Harding pops it up. Batley wants to take on Walker. Gets it off the deck to Luatua. Randall has it. It's a little scrappy. The passes are sticking, but only just. Bradbury, Vakatawa, Hail Mary to Naulango. Through the challenger, Beard, very nearly all the way, Naulango.
Short leg go!
Bradbury waits. The try line beckoning. Picks, goes. Held up.
Held up, goal line drop.
Another big moment. And Alex Dombrand has wrapped himself around the ball.
He is everywhere today. He's looking absolutely fantastic when his team needs him most. He's doing everything. Still not quite sure how Bristol managed to get where they got to. Just relentless commitment to keeping the ball alive again. Really good to watch. So exhausting to defend. It's a boot underneath it, then hands. Yeah, it never gets down, does it?
Thank you.
It's become such an important skill, isn't it, to fold bodies under the ball over the line, to just occupy the space, if nothing else.
I wonder if, you know, a few seasons from now that'll still be the law, because I guess it's kind of designed to get rid of the pick and go a little bit, and it hasn't really done that. Get rid of the 5-metre scrums, which might be deemed boring or take too long, but we can speed those up. They can actually be some of the best moments in a game. So confrontational. Don't know, we'll see.
Smith picking out Malins. And here's Thacker challenging that defensive line. He's run straight into his own man in Woolmore.
I mean, on the face of it, that's a bit mad. Got the whole pitch to run into.
He's run into him, so it's run.
He probably wanted his mate to shield him a bit and use him as a guard, but it didn't quite work out that way. That's that might be on a bloopers reel. That looks like Ellis Genge's left ankle or calf. Sheedy's there as well.
That's a sorry sight. Two high-quality players that Pat Lam was absolutely relying upon today. And Bernhard Janssen van Rensburg, arguably their player of the season, all out of commission in the first 40 minutes here at the Stoop.
And you talk about the Bristol thing, we know when they lost from 28-0 up. This is very different because the disruption they've suffered, those players leaving the field, the reshuffle they've had to undergo, very, very disruptive.
Could be the last time we see Kyle Sinclair in a Bears shirt. Moving to play in the top 14 with Toulon next season. And a big old bear hug from the man who's very well equipped to give those in Adam Jones. Sinclair off, Max Laheath on. Always a changing of the guard this time of the season.
Set.
Big shove from Bristol. Got the scrum penalty.
Loads of power.
Harry, don't cause any... Harry. Thank you, Harry.
Well, I mean, Harry Randall's getting told off, but Alex Dombrant won't give him the ball. So what's he supposed to do? I don't blame Dombrant. Done exactly the same, but you understand someone getting frustrated.
Pull him and push him. Just give me a chance to referee it. But the moment you dive on him and pull him and push him, it creates a problem.
Loads of power in the scrum. Max Laheath just on.
Shot at goal.
Really piling in. Get some good joy out of that on the far side. Jake Walmer sticks in tight this time, does the damage. Finn Baxter penalised. Good impact from Laheath.
Well, the scrum penalties allowed James Williams a shot at goal. This to reclaim the lead for the Bristol Bears. Both of these sides, as it stands, needing Saracens to do them a favour and come from 20 points to 3 down to beat Sale at the StoneX. The Sharks leading by 17 there at the moment. Looks like Exeter out of the picture, trailing by 19 at Welford Road. 3 points to Williams, 3 points to the Bears, and Bristol lead by a single point here at the Stoop with 22 odd minutes to play.
One of the good old boys, Carl Sinclair, he's given a huge amount to this league. A couple of years in the sun. Good on him.
I think he's just realised that he might have to come back on if needed, so you're not touched just yet.
That's the worst news, I tell you.
He's already kissed the badge.
Yes, he's done the wave. He's done the wave.
Yeah, it's a bit of an issue. Never mind, you can kiss it twice. Here's Malins. Searching for holes and doing very effectively up to halfway. Randall, lightning quick break. Fires it over the head of Marcus Smith. Chases hard. Green is back there too. Smith dummies to Green. Sets off to that short side and leaves Beard with plenty to do. And now Smith's got it back. And Harlequins are pinned 5 metres out.
Yeah, I mean, the footwork was lovely, but he gave his mate the ball with nowhere to go except run into the Incredible Hulk. Max Laheath. It's a nice sidestep, but cheers, mate.
Effective clearance required here from Will Porter. Saracens have scored, by the way, at the StoneX. Marco Riccioni with the try for Mark McCall's men, so maybe the comeback is on there for the defending champions.
No, it's a fresh ball, lads. You've got to wait.
Let's have a word with Pat Lamb, Bristol Bears Director of Rugby. Pat, you've had to suffer some slings and arrows today, haven't you? Goodness. Again, Sheedy, Van Rensburg all injured in the first half. How are you going to get this job done here?
Oh, it's a squad effort all the time. It happens in rugby, but what a game. You know, we said Quins, Bears, always that sort of game. Good attitude from both teams. We're probably, I think it's after 30 minutes, we had a 7-1 penalty against us, which gave them piggyback moves. So we're just talking about trying to keep the hold of the ball. We needed to take that shot of goal. It was a good decision just to change the momentum that we had. The 2 tries that we coughed up, we were actually scoring. So the message was just keep going, boys, because it was actually on. Don't be a road. Someone made a mistake, no problem, let's go again. So just keep coming at them.
And give us a flavour, Pat. How much of an eye have you got on the StoneX?
I've got a guy next to me, and I know that Sale's there, but the players don't need to know anything unless they need to know anything. Just keep on going and winning the game.
Good stuff. Thanks for your time, Pat.
Cheers.
Appreciate it. Bearing down on the try line again is Randall. Here's Harding. 20 minutes to play. Bristol can only do what they can do here at the Stoop. Matters elsewhere will take care of themselves. Ogre is on the ball. Another of those who's had a wonderful season. Must be in the reckoning for an England call-up, you'd think, soon. Here's Laheath. A couple of tries off the bench against Leicester, crucially. In goes Evans. He's clamped over the ball. He's been awarded the turnover.
The clamp. No one like him. Well, maybe Alex Dombrant. I'm not sure there's a specialist quite on his level operating the Gallagher Prem just at the moment. Just exceptional. And the thing is, the attacking players know it's coming. They know who he is. They know he's there. They train for it. But they just can't get there in time. You're a split second late, you're toast.
So the clearance affected, and Evans doing what Evans does time after time, burrowing into those dark spaces and coming up with the ball. As we take you to the StoneX for news of Marco Riccioni's score for Saracens against Sale.
And it's potentially Saracens starting to do what they do at this stage of the game when you think they're out of it. Close quarter stuff, lovely pick and go, and then Riccioni with the crucial score, 20 points to 10. Sale Sharks still leading, but Saracens on the charge.
Use it, please. 18. Thank you.
Now Lango does really well. He's caught a little high. And they've got an advantage.
Knock on there. Number 5, out the way, please.
So Stefan Levis penalised for not rolling away this time. So here's confirmation of how the table looks as it is right now. We know Bath have qualified now because they've got the bonus point score at the Rec against Northampton. That's all they needed from today. Currently they're occupying second space. They will have a home semi-final. Saracens are trailing the Sale Sharks at the StoneX, but they have just scored a try, and the scoreline there, 20 points to 10 in favour of the Sharks. And while Sale are in front there, Bristol and Quins can do nothing really about it. Even 5 points here today will not be enough for them. I think we are close to being able to rule Exeter out of the equation. They trail 34-15 to the Tigers at Welford Roads. 13 minutes to play, although Jasper Wiese, we learn, has been shown red. So Tigers down to 14. Algrave for Bristol.
Tackle!
Randall. Luatua had a lot of ball inside the opposition 22, the Bears, and will be very happy to be playing their rugby down here for the moment. Bradbury, who's carried very well today. Harding's waiting. Trying to put a little bit of footwork on to move up the field. Malins, lovely outside arc and very nearly through. Sets it up. The pick and go. Laheath! Try awarded!
Thank you.
Muscular stuff off the bench from Max Laheath. It is try number 5, and Bristol, who've had to deal with an awful lot this afternoon in terms of injuries and disruption. It's all in the eyes. It's all in the eyes.
Well, he's known when the try line is over the last couple of weeks. Max Laheath getting another score, but it was this by Max Malins, just to fade on the pass, to get outside Will Joseph. So from static ball, all of a sudden they generate a bit quicker ball. And just before Laheath picks that ball up, you hear on the ref mic, "I'm with you, go." And that's Ibitoye, so he knows wherever it is, let's keep that momentum in the ruck. Go, go, go. You've got support with you.
Tries good.
That could be a big score.
Yeah, it was nice contrast, wasn't it? The elegance of Malins on the outside arc, just stretching the defender before the ball arrives, and then the sheer muscularity of Max Laheath. There's the lads on the phones checking the other results. Imagine that's what they're looking at.
It is that kind of day. They won't be alone in the ground this afternoon in keeping close tabs on goings on elsewhere. As James Williams lines up the conversion. Curls it in nicely. 15 minutes to play. 36 points to 28, Bristol lead. Bonus points secured. The win needs securing, and then they will all turn into fervent Saracen supporters in Bristol.
Apparently we've had confirmation that Callum Sheedy is watching another game on TNT Sports.
Well, the game at the StoneX live on TNT Sports 1 right now, if that's where you'd rather be. Plenty of good entertainment here, though, as Smith skips across into position. Northmore, such a very talented runner, isn't he? Seems to have all the different component parts. Here's Tyrone Green on the angle. Changing direction without losing speed. One of Tyrone Green's key skills.
Oh, wow.
And a turnover for Bristol. At the bottom of that one, Stephen Luatua.
That was a piece of art, that turnover from Stephen Luatua. There was a shot to make on Dylan Lewis. He makes the shot, but he knows someone else has made it. Evans is there on time. He's there on time doing the right stuff, but Luatua just rides the contact, long arms, big hands, great stuff.
Signed a new contract.
Line, please, boys.
And will move into his 8th season with Bristol. Dual international, of course, now having played for the All Blacks and for Samoa. Scorelines along the bottom of your screen right now. And Bristol pressing in Harlequins territory. Ogre to Malins.
No!
And another penalty to the Bears. Chiefs have scored at Welford Road. 12 points the margin there. Tigers down to 14, remember. A 10-point margin between Sale and Saracens in favour of the Sharks. And around about 10, 11 minutes or so left on that one.
I had your elbows on the ground.
You could almost hear the panic in the Bristol players' voices. Breakdown, breakdown, get there before Will Evans.
Yeah.
He's a threat, but gets that one wrong.
Funny, because most of the players you really target are the best ball carriers, the guys that can do the most damage with the ball in the week leading up, but actually every now and again you play against a defender that you just have to spend half an hour thinking about in training, half an hour talking about in meetings, and you have to repeatedly name them and target them on the field because they're so dangerous. Will Evans is one of those.
Sweet strike from James Williams, turns quickly, and 3 points added. The margin now 11 points between these two. 11 minutes left to play. Williams is taking his duties seriously. Of course, he missed a late penalty against Exeter way back in round 4. It was bang in front of the post. It meant no losing bonus point that day, and we all know just how tight the league is and has been, so I'm sure that was playing on his mind ahead of this afternoon. But Bristol looking in a good space just at the moment. Now Lango taking on all comers before the offload goes forwards, and Quins look to whisk it away. Beard on the short side, strong line speed from James Dunn of Bristol, but it's very broken. Jared Evans looks to carve things open here for Harlequins. Green almost teasing Ibitoye before Lahif comes in.
Okay, advantage over for the knock-on.
Evans, Ogre suspiciously quick off the line.
James Dunn's putting it about, some great shots in the last couple of sets.
Evans, huge ball for Don Brown. Some tired bodies out there, some strong counter-rucking from Bristol, but it's still with Quins. And it's those off the bench who are applying the most pressure off that line speed at the moment. Lewis, Evans, the two Welshmen in tandem. Oh, that was very, very close to Ibitoye. Instead, it goes to Joseph. Dabs it forwards. Green wants it.
Really, really nice from Will Joseph, but actually Ibitoye did well because he just was about to stick his hand out and try and take that ball, and he did what we don't see many players do these days, and resist. Look, hand out. Oh, no, he says no. It's going to be a deliberate knock-on. It's actually a good decision, because Bristol have ended up covering it. Nice from Joseph, actually nice from both of them, even though he missed the tackle.
Yeah, it's all right, there's multiple players down, we'll get everyone sorted out. Stitching, that's a big one.
Rehydration, essential on a day like today. The game has been so quick from minute 1. The sun's come out, and there'll be a few that are blowing at this point. Don't forget, we have so much good sport across TNT Sports this summer. What a summer we've got coming up on TNT and Discovery Plus, kicking off tomorrow, the final day of the Premier League season. We're at the Emirates to see if Arsenal can secure their first title in 20 years. We'll have all the UEFA finals, including the Champions League final at Wembley. There's the EPCR rugby finals, of course, next week. Challenge Cup on Friday, Champions Cup on Saturday from Tottenham Hotspur. Roland Garros, the second of the Grand Slams in the tennis calendar, coming up soon. The Tour de France. And don't forget Discovery Plus, the only place you can watch every single event live from the Olympic Games in Paris. It starts on Friday, the 26th of July. And don't be called out, by the way, because the Rugby Sevens, if that's what you're interested in, actually starts before the opening ceremony, confusingly. But again, another event you'll be able to see live on Discovery Plus. Here's Malins for Bristol. Over the 10-metre line, he's got support from Hewitt, and Hewitt is tearing away. Across comes Green. Hewitt's got the beating of him. outstanding score from the Bears as they creep closer to the finish line.
What an outstanding, outstanding try from Bristol Bears. In the heat at a packed Twickenham Stoop, Max Malins has come more and more into this game in the second half. He's looked really dangerous on the outside break. Beautifully worked. And in Noah Hewitt, he's got quietly one of the more impressive wingers on display this season in any team for me.
Tries good.
It's gorgeous from Malins, so hard to defend, a guy with that much swerve and pace and class. And Noah Hewitt's got the wheels to finish it off. Gorgeous tops.
Brilliant stuff. And so we tried to break down Bristol's philosophy over the course of the afternoon, but that wide pass that takes out so many defenders is brilliant, and that is why you stick to your guns, because we know if we get it right, that's what we can do. Yes, there's risk involved, but when it comes off like that, it's so beautiful to watch. Lovely by Malins. Flats, you're absolutely right. He has grown into this second half. Who knew? Maybe he's a fly-off after all, but brilliant, brilliant stuff.
So an important score, but we wonder how important it will be as Williams slots another 2 to extend the Bears' lead. It is all about Saracens and Sale at the moment. It's live on TNT Sports 1, and the Sharks are leading by 20 points to 10 there, having never won at that venue in the league in 9 separate attempts. And there are only 2 minutes left in that match. 2 minutes for the defending champions to pull that out of the bag against Alex Sanderson's men, who for a long time this season, certainly in the last few weeks, probably were not expecting to be part of the playoff party. They have had crunch game after crunch game after crunch game every single week. They've had to win. As we see an aerial collision here, which might take a little bit of time for the players to recover from. Hewitt and Green.
You take the kick, please.
Remarkable effort from Sale if they pull that off this afternoon, and that would leave Northampton playing Saracens in the semi-finals
on Friday night
in a couple of weeks. 2 weeks away, isn't it? Friday night at the Gardens. Vakatawa and onwards to Fitzharding. A little bit of assistance from Vakatawa.
Don't pin him in, don't pin him in. Thank you, ball's there.
Home semi-finals currently heading the way of Northampton and Bath. Randall to Malins to Ogray. And enough muscle power out there from Will Porter and friends.
Yeah, you have 2 and 2. Time off, 9 sub. That's you, yeah, thanks. Let me know when it's done.
Off comes Randall, and
thank you, time on.
Leaving his side in a very healthy space as Kieran Marmion replaces him. This is the biggest score that they've racked up at the Stoop.
I wonder if you'll see him on tour with England in the summer. He's certainly good enough, but I watch him make a few breaks. I think he's got to be on tour. And I watch Van Portfleet, and I say the same. Nearly for Ogray. Spencer Mitchell. I've got about 9 scrum halves on that trip at the moment.
Penalty hit at Bristol. Seems to have the measure of this Harlequin side this afternoon.
He came off, Huey's on his own side.
Bang in front of the sticks. And only 5 minutes to navigate now. It looks like they will do all that they can do here this afternoon. But the Saracens result will be all important, and they're in the final minutes at the StoneX.
I think Harry Randall then just got told that Sale are winning at the StoneX, which is why he looks so forlorn, having played so well himself today, him and his team.
How many boys?
Frustrating times. They've left it very late, if we're honest. They've been on an extraordinary run. 6 wins on the spin before they hit Saracens last week. But they've put in a very impressive display here this afternoon, having lost 3 key men in the first half. They're sizing up the try line again for number 7 of the afternoon. It's there. Gabriel Ogre, and Bristol hit Quins for 50.
Great power, great cohesion from Bristol, but you think about the names they lost in that first half, the reshuffling they've done, as you said, Tops, not combinations they could have trained or could have predicted. They've been fantastic. They've absolutely stuck to their attacking guns. They're willing to tuck it up the jersey and scrum hard and maul hard if they have to, and it works in these situations. But every substitute's come on and made a difference, had an impact. Bristol have been fantastic in this second half. Fantastic.
Absolutely. There was a period at the start of the second half where they looked a bit disrupted, but they got themselves together, figured out a plan that works for them, and stuck to their guns, stuck to their culture, stuck to their ethos, and they're getting their rewards. There's some lovely, powerful stuff, but there's some really silky stuff as well, and they are good value for this win.
Through she goes as we bring you news from the Stonex of a famous win for Alex Sanderson's men. Sale have made it into the playoffs. They've beaten Saracens by 20 points to 10. And there will be at least one more match for Manu Tuolangi in a Shark shirt. Extraordinary. And that, of course, rules Bristol out of contention for all their brilliance this afternoon. 7 tries in the sunshine. They've lost 3 huge players, and they still won't qualify. Caulfield onwards to Marmion.
I mean, they're all so tired they couldn't get there. Been scoring too many tries.
Away goes Green. A little bit high in the challenge from Grondona, who's making his Bristol debut here, wearing 20. Evans, shut down. Tigers have beaten Chiefs by 40 points to 22. So disappointment for Exeter as well.
7
and
offside.
the penalty goes Harlequins' way.
7 offside.
Massive for Sale Sharks, massive for Al Sanderson, Dorian West, all the coaches. You hear about Manu going off early, gripping his hammy. You wonder, is that going to be the difference? It's a huge result for them.
So here's the confirmation of our top 4. Northampton, as we know, top of the table, qualified for the home semi-final. They'll play Saracens in a couple of weeks' time on a Friday night at the Gardens, and at the Rec, Bath will take on Sale on the Saturday afternoon. Goodness, seems like we've taken a long old time to get to that position, haven't we? The 79th minute of the 18th round, and only just recently have we been able to confirm those 4 teams in the semi-finals of the Gallagher Premiership. Just 40 seconds remaining here. Quins have run out of road, but still they pour forwards the final minutes of their campaign this season. The beach is beckoning.
No, Max, you've been off your feet, Max. Thank you, brother.
Here's Will Joseph. Hoping for a lot more rugby from him next season as they drive on again through Hammond.
Tackle now.
Porter to Smith on final hitch kick. One more loose pass gathered by Vakatawa. Slings it in the air. Now Lango's onto it. Across comes Northmore, who shuts it all down. And the penalty is Harlequins.
Put the ball down.
Just a couple of fleeting Fijian moments.
Mark's there if you want it.
In this southwest London sunny afternoon. Glorious to watch. But ultimately all in vain. Time for your player of the match, Topsy.
Well, been some excellent Bristol performances.
Okay, stop. Time off.
Stephen Luatua has been quietly excellent. The quality of his involvement's through the roof. I think Gabriel Ibitoye, 12 carries, 169 metres. Stats on stats, but I'm giving it to Max Malins for the way he's taken control of this second half, stepping in at fly half. Lovely touch of quality. He is our Gallagher Premiership player of the match.
It's the captain.
Been a classy performer. And like you say, adapting to the situation really, really well. We've got Stefan Levis down and being treated for Quins. Another player up the other end of the field as well. There's been some collateral damage here this afternoon, unfortunately. Both sides suffering. But their campaign is done, and despite the thumping win, you can taste the disappointment, Flats. It's heartbreaking to see it finish like that, particularly for Bristol, who've come in and put together a very compelling case for the playoffs here this afternoon. 7 wins from their last 8 in the league. It's been a remarkable push, but undone at the end by Sale at the Stone Axe.
Well, they've been just fantastic value the last couple of months. Great to watch, a privilege to commentate on. Today's no exception. They played some great stuff, but it's just so hard to get in the top 4 of the Gallagher Premiership. It's just so hard, down to the last week. But yeah, some of these injuries you do worry about, and people like Sheedy Genge, summer tour involvements and all that. We hope for the best.
Levis still troubled by his injury. He's had a very difficult time of it on the injury front. It's been ruled out for so much rugby over the last couple of seasons. But happy to take his place in the lineup for the final moments here.
Back a bit, lads. Back a bit, back a bit. It's always worth a go. Just wait for your captain.
You're right about Bristol, though, aren't you? They've been nearly flawless since the return, and but for the one hiccup last weekend against Saracens, they're thinking we could be in the playoffs. So, for as brilliant as they've been, and they've shown so much good stuff this afternoon and over the last 6-7 weeks, those are the margins.
Sam Riley for Quins, secured just about. Northmore, Evans, Joseph rides the challenge well. Held up by Malins. Porter, Riley, Evans again attacks the line. Smith skips free. Could do with some support. Brought down via the tap tackle, and touch is found. And the season is over for both of these two this afternoon. Bristol with a thumping win. 7 tries as they bid to make the playoffs. But it wasn't enough, even that. 7 wins from the last 8 in the league wasn't enough. Sale have undone them in the end, but they can be proud of their efforts here this afternoon. 7 tries, 53 points to 28, and a disappointing end for both Harlequins and Bristol at the Stoop.